the business model of Wall Street is fraud. And I think these guys drove us into the worst economic downturn in the modern history of America. I think they're at it again.
All right, Democrat presidential candidate Bernie Sanders saying the business model of Wall Street is a fraud. But with stocks down big this month, are comments like that irresponsible? Charlie Gasparino says yes, they are. Julia Roginski does not. All right, Julie, to you first. The Dow Jones average was at 6,500 in March '09.
Yes.
It moved up to 18,000. Anybody who was in the stock market over that period of time made money. Where's the fraud?
Well, don't you think some people are able to make a little bit more money than others based on the fact that they're not individual investors, the quant people, the people who are using these computers to make money? Don't you
Yeah,
think
they can lose more, too.
But don't you think they have more ability to manipulate the market
That's
than
not,
the average
that's not what he's
person?
talking about.
No, that's not what I'm
Why?
talking about.
How do you know what he's talking
Where's
about?
the fraud
I know what he's
in a
talking
game
about. I
like
read
this?
about what he's
Where's the
talking
fraud? If I'm a small individual investor, I'm in the market in March of '09, I ride it up to 18,000. Where's the fraud?
So you look at what
I've
he's
made money.
you look at what he's talking about. He was talking about the fact that he wants to break up banks. That Glass-Steagall is not going
What
far
does
enough.
high-speed trading have to do with
But let me
breaking
finish
up the
my
banks?
point to you. He's saying the whole system is rigged. That you now have banks who were partially responsible for the collapse of this economy, who are now more powerful than ever because of the way the system has been set up even since the collapse. So I understand where he's coming from.
Julie's responses here, are just representative of this sort of utter confusion that the left has with the economy. First, she talks about high-speed trading, then she talks about breaking up the banks. Let's be clear here: the banks imploded. Some of the banks bought some of those banks that imploded because the financial system was under stress. Why did those banks implode? They imploded because the federal government forced them to take on stupid loans, like give housing loans to everybody and their uncle. Also, the federal government bailed them out in the past, so it created moral hazard where they thought there was no consequence to their risk. So if you look at the root of the financial crisis, it wasn't with the greedy bankers, it was with dumb government bureaucrats.
I'm sorry.
And here's the thing. Should the banks be broken up? Very easy to break them up. You know how you do it? We don't guarantee your deposits. That's a free market way of doing it. Bernie Sanders, by the way, is not a Democrat. He's a socialist. He wants to take over the banks.
Charlie, you're telling me that the tranches that these people were repackaging and selling as junk bonds, you're saying... wait a second.
No. We don't want to get into a technical argument. But we don't want to get into...
I'm responding to what Charlie's saying here.
The Community Redevelopment Act?
We don't want to get...
Excuse me.
Who do you think forced the bank to do subprime loans? Is that not true?
Wait a minute. This is not... Excuse me. This is not a technical argument about who's responsible for the crash of 2008. This is Bernie Sanders saying there is fraud built into the system now. And I'm asking you to tell me, where is the fraud?
I am telling you right now that there are people and big institutions out there that have more advantages than others, that it is not, in fact, a free market democratic system, small d.
I am telling you that people like Julie, people like Bernie Sanders, don't know a thing about what went on with the banks.
Okay.
They are so off the charts on this. They don't realize that the government made the banks give loans to people that can't pay them back, and they packaged them into securities, and they held onto those securities, and that blew them up. That's what happened. It starts with the government.
And they didn't sell those as junk bonds. And they didn't sell those as junk bonds.
And Bernie Sanders is simply jumping on the political bandwagon of anti-Wall Street feeling. That's what he's doing.
What he's talking about. She's talking about high-speed trading. He's talking about breaking up the banks.
I'm talking about both. I'm talking about the fact that the system. I'm talking about the fact that the system. You cannot argue that the system is rigged.
Your friend Bill Clinton. He helped rig it. Glass-Steagall was a Bill Clinton invention.
I absolutely do.
He allowed the banks, the securities firms, to merge with banks. And guess what? He forced the banks to give out the crappy loans. That's what he did.
Can you read that at the bottom of the screen? The Dow is down 6.6% for the month of August.
Yes.
Don't you think that the banks and the bankers and the traders lost more than the individual investor because of their position in the market?
Don't you think that the individual...
Don't you think they lost money like everybody else did? And I asked you the first question.
I'm answering
Don't you think... Where's the fraud? Where's the fraud?
Where's the fraud?
Stop it.
Where is it?
You guys think
you can't identify it.
Would you like me to answer your question? You're going to keep interrupting.
Where's the fraud?
I'm answering your question.
So President Obama is responsible for the fraud.
Okay.
Because he created the system.
So President Obama is responsible for the fraud, but President Obama is not responsible for the bull market that we've had for the last
Why
decade.
is that a fraud?
So your point is you can't blame him for the bad stuff that happened the last month and not give him credit for the
Stuart, I just gave you an example. I'm just giving you the utter confusion. First it's high-speed trading, then it's the banks. Now it's a fraud to make money. That's what the modern Democratic Party stands for.
Why would you say that?
Well, you said there's fraud because the market went up.
Why would you say
that's absurd.
That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying to you is that there are some people who are more advantaged in this market than others.
There's some smarter people in the world, too.
Smarter,
you know
or because of the fact that they're using high-frequency trading, or because of the fact that they're big banks
Tom
and they're able
Brady's
to
a better quarterback, so he gets the hot wife and he wins the Super Bowl.
Ladies and gentlemen, time is up. Don't introduce Brady into this debate, please. Time's up. Julie, Charlie, thank you very much indeed, both of you. Both sides in this Iran fight have less than 2 weeks left before Congress votes on this nuke deal. The president only needs 3 more Democrats to sign on to it. Is he going to get it?
Kill this agreement before